Shu Shun wiped the blood from his lips and laughed hoarsely, bones popping like cracking thunder as he straightened his frame. Seems I look down on you. His joints roared, chi surged, and with a beast-like howl, he sprang forward once more. 78 profound acupoints blazed across his body, linked in shimmering resonance, forming a luminous shell like a divine battle film. Han Li did not retreat. He stepped forward instead. With each stride, profound points ignited along his arms, one after another, until the stone platform quaked beneath his feet like a trembling mountain. Fear finally crept into Shushan's eyes. Had Liya lied, or were all the rumors wrong? The distance vanished. Hanli bellowed like a war god awakening. Titan Vajra arts erupting as all 18 acupoints on his arms shone like blazing stars. His fist drove forward with overwhelming might. Shushan struck back, yet at the final instant, a white bone spike burst from between his fingers, vicious and concealed. Hanli snorted coldly. Instead of dodging, the two fingers of his flower branch refined hand snapped forward, smashing straight into the hidden star bone. Boom! Starlight exploded like shattered crystal rain, brilliance swallowing the platform in a blinding storm. To the spectators, only radiant light remained. But within that flash, Shushan clearly saw it. Nearly 100 profound acupoints burning across Hanli's body like a celestial constellation. Regret flooded his heart. He wanted to yield. Too late. Hanli surged through the light and drove his fist straight into Shushan's dantian, annihilating both core and nascent soul in a single ruthless blow. When the brilliance faded, Hanli staggered back as if wounded, while Shushan's corpse collapsed lifelessly to the stone. The arena fell into stunned silence. The first death of this five-city martial gathering had been born. Chen Yang watched with a hidden chuckle. Quite the actor, fellow Taoist Li. Only he and Taoist Xie knew Han Li was untouched. Moments later, guards carried Han Li away for treatment. Yet halfway there, he calmly sat up, eyes sharp as frost. Not a scratch. He soon rested in a quiet corner, gaze cold and calculating. Before long, the remaining battles ended. Gu Qianshen crushed her profound End City opponent in just a few blows, sparing his life with casual mercy. Liya, showing 70 profound acupoints, defeated an 80 acupoint cultivator from Excess Passage City and knocked him unconscious. The Green Goat City cultivators gathered to celebrate. Liya returned beaming, until he noticed Han Li was missing. "Where's fellow Taoist Li?" he sneered. "Didn't he fight earlier?" Whispers spread. "I heard someone died on his platform." Liya's grin widened, while Gu Qianshen frowned deeply. Then a voice rang out. "Fellow Taoist Li." Han Li limped in, robes torn and bloodstained like a battered survivor. Shock shattered Liya's expression. "Did you win?" the crowd asked. "By good fortune," Han Li smiled softly. Though Shushan was not so fortunate. He brushed past Liya without even looking at him, yet a chill crawled down Liya's spine. Soon, all 32 first-round battles concluded. No upsets, no fallen favorites. The fastest match belonged to Zhu Ziyuan, whose opponent surrendered instantly, robbing everyone of a glimpse of his power. Han Li later watched Toxic Dragon battle Zhu Ziqing. Though inexperienced, she was stronger and ultimately claimed victory. Most surprising of all, low-key Xuanyuan Xing defeated a Profound End City cultivator. Thus, only 4 from Green Goat City advanced: Han Li, Gu Qianshen, Liya, and Xuanyuan Xing, the lowest count among the 5 cities, yet with no deaths. 7 days later, the second round began. Profound City overflowed with spectators as the Asura Arena roared to life once more. Green Goat City's representatives entered under jeers and mocking laughter, their weak showing making them a public joke. Chen Yang's face darkened, not only from humiliation, but because the upcoming opponents were fearsome. In a secluded corner, he addressed them calmly. "Don't dwell on the first round. Luck plays its part. Learn from what you saw. This is a rare chance to temper yourselves." He turned to Gu Qianshen. "Your opponent is Zhu Ziqing, Zhu Ziyuan's sister. Not as strong as him, but do not underestimate her." "I understand," she replied firmly. Then to Han Li. "Hao Feng of Profound End City, second only to Feng Wuchen. Over 100 acupoints opened, and a former top 8 contender. Be cautious." Han Li simply nodded. Finally, he looked at Xuanyuan Xing. "Your foe is Wukong of Excess Passage City. Top 5 among their ranks. Do your best." Huan Yuanxing cupped his fists, eyes blazing with resolve. "I will fight with everything I have." Thus the storm of the second round gathered. Sharper, fiercer, and far more merciless than before. The atmosphere was thick with tension as Chen Yang gave Xuan Yuanxing a subtle nod and turned his gaze upon Liya, whose calm demeanor betrayed no sign of nervousness. Liya, today you face the formidable Feng Wuchen of Profound End City, Chen Yang declared. Not only is he a top-tier cultivator, but he placed in the top 4 during the last martial gathering. A proud smile tugged at Ilia's lips as he interjected. Fear not, City Lord Chen. Feng Wuchen is indeed strong, but I have devised a strategy against him. I have my chances. Chen Yang's brow furrowed slightly at being interrupted, yet he gave a nod of understanding. Gu Qianshun, ever the cautious one, warned, Feng Wuchen is a formidable adversary. Do not let your guard down, Yilia. Yilia gave a fleeting glance at Gu Qianshun, his brow furrowing only briefly, and then he replied indifferently, I appreciate your concern, fellow Taoist Gu. Meanwhile, Han Li remained unmoved, as though the conversation had no bearing on him. As Chen Yang departed to join the other city lords, Yi Liya made his way over to Han Li. Don't falter, fellow Taoist Li. We must face each other in the next round, he said, his tone sharp. Han Li, silent as ever, simply nodded, and with a cold huff, Yi Liya returned to his companions. Han Li, on the other hand, seated himself in quiet contemplation, awaiting his turn. On the elevated platform, City Lord Qin Yuan greeted Chen Yang with an apology for the absence of Mistress Lu Hua, explaining that his attempts to grant a free win to one of Green Goat City's representatives had been unsuccessful. I admire your composure, City Lord Chen, Qin Yuan said, with a slight smile. Let us see how the matches unfold. City Lord Equai's voice cut through the idle chatter, calling for the battles to commence. And the horned man by his side leapt to the center of the arena, announcing the beginning of the much-anticipated second round. The stone wall rose once more, revealing the matchups. Han Li and Yi Liya were to face off in the first batch, while Gu Qianshun and Xuan Yuanxing would battle in the second. As Yi Liya made his way to the platform, his companions in tow, Han Li took a steadying breath. Good luck, fellow Taoist Li, Gu Qianshun offered, to which Xuan Yuanxing added his well wishes with a smile. Han Li merely returned a faint smile and walked to the platform where a black-robed referee awaited. The crowd, larger now than for Han Li's first match, was buzzing with excitement, many of them rooting for Hao Feng of Profound End City. The ground shifted suddenly as a gray-robed figure appeared before Han Li in a blur of motion, holding a serpentine sword gleaming with a venomous green light. The figure was Hao Feng, whose reputation as a swift cultivator with deadly leg techniques and a venomous sword preceded him. I watched your fight against Shushun, Hao Feng rasped, eyeing Han Li with cold disdain. Your tricks fooled many, but not me. Surrender now, and I will spare you. Han Li's expression remained unchanged as he replied, I'm afraid I cannot yield. A gleam of fury flickered in Hao Feng's eyes, and with a final, venomous sneer, he prepared for battle. So be it, he hissed. The referee's command to begin echoed through the arena. Hao Feng's body blazed with white light as profound acupoints flared, his legs glowing with energy as he surged forward with blinding speed. In a flash, he closed the distance between them, and his green snake sword stabbed toward Han Li's chest. The crowd gasped as the sword struck, only to pass straight through Han Li's form, revealing a mere afterimage. The real Han Li appeared behind Hao Feng, his body a blur as he moved in for the strike. Hao Feng reacted swiftly, unleashing a barrage of sword projections with the ferocity of a serpent's strike. Han Li, undeterred, punched through the oncoming assault with a burst of golden light, shattering the sword projections in an instant. Hao Feng faltered, his eyes wide with disbelief. He swiftly vanished, reforming behind Han Li and launching another vicious attack. But Han Li was ready, his golden fist meeting the green snake sword once more, forcing Hao Feng to retreat. Frustration etched on his face. Hao Feng invoked his ultimate technique, the snake shadow movement, twisting the air around them into a massive tornado. The serpent-like shadows of his technique surrounded Han Li, and sword projections shot out like lightning. Han Li, however, stood firm, his fists launching forward with crushing force. A mighty explosion of golden energy ripped through the tornado, scattering the serpent shadows and shattering the sword projections with a resounding crash. The crowd fell silent, awed by the sheer power on display. In that moment, Han Li's might was undeniable, and the battle had only just begun. Hao Feng staggered into the open, his expression one of astonishment. Before he could regain his balance, Han Li appeared before him like a wraith, thrusting his right index finger directly toward Hao Feng's heart. A tremendous force erupted from Han Li's fingertip, shaking the very air, and Hao Feng knew that if he allowed the strike, his heart would be pierced through, even with his protective True Extreme film. Desperation filled him as he swiftly lashed out with his green snake sword, launching a dozen sword projections toward Hanli's arm. However, Hanli's finger abruptly veered away from its target, and with unerring precision, his middle finger extended, plucking the green snake sword out of the air and twisting it from Hao Feng's grasp. As the sword was wrenched from his hands, Hao Feng retreated in alarm, his left hand rising to release a barrage of green needles from his sleeve, each flashing with poisonous energy. Han Li responded with a palm thrust, his immense power scattering the deadly needles effortlessly. Hao Feng's eyes widened in realization that escape was impossible, and with a fierce roar, he launched a mighty attack, causing the space before him to tremble. A flush of unnatural energy surged on his face as he stumbled back, and just as he steadied himself, the blade of the green snake's sword rested at his throat. "I surrender," Hao Feng declared stiffly. Raising his arms, the black-robed referee, having witnessed the speed of the battle, blinked in surprise before announcing, "The winner is Li Feiyu." Han Li gave Hao Feng a slight nod before returning the green snake's sword to him. "You've unlocked more than 72 profound acupoints. What is your true power?" Hao Feng asked, his brow furrowed. Han Li only offered a faint smile before stepping off the platform. Hao Feng sighed quietly and followed. Above, Chen Yang and Qin Yuan reacted differently. Chen Yang's eyes shone with triumph, while Qin Yuan seethed in silent fury. "Looks like Hao Feng let Li Feiyu win," Chen Yang said with a mocking tone. Qin Yuan grunted in annoyance, his temper flaring. "Such an impressive wild card," Sun Tu remarked, and Fujian nodded in agreement. "Li Feiyu can't compare to your cultivators," Chen Yang replied modestly, anger flickering in Qin Yuan's eyes. Li Feiyu joined Green Goat City only a few decades ago, Chen Yang admitted when questioned by Yi Kuai, who nodded thoughtfully. As Han Li descended from the platform, the crowd parted in awe, and his Green Goat City companions gathered around him. "Congratulations, fellow Taoist Li. Hao Feng's scalp is a huge prize," Gu Qianshen grinned. Han Li smiled in modesty as others congratulated him, while Yao Li stood at a distance, embarrassed by her past disdain for him. "I was merely fortunate," Han Li replied graciously, offering a smile to Yao Li, who, relieved, quietly congratulated him in return. "Let's go see fellow Taoist Yi's battle," Gu Qianshen suggested, and the group made their way to the platform, where Liya faced Feng Wuchen in a fierce contest. Liya, a skilled speed cultivator, had more profound acupoints than Hao Feng, but was still outmatched by Feng Wuchen's fluid and devastating speed. Despite his ferocious attacks, Liya struggled, his body already marked by deep gashes, Han Li observed keenly. Liya was clearly pushing his limits, but Feng Wuchen remained in control, evading every strike with grace and precision. Despite Liya's relentless efforts, victory seemed impossible for him. As Liya summoned his final tactic, his whip elongated like a sword, aiming to strike at Feng Wuchen. The latter leapt gracefully into the air, avoiding the strike and retaliating with a swift, precise blow to Liya's wrist. In an instant, Liya's whip coiled around Feng Wuchen's arm, but the opponent disappeared from sight, leaving Liya unbalanced. In a flash, Feng Wuchen reappeared, landing 9 rapid strikes with his willow leaf sword. Though the blows pierced through Liya's defenses, the latter staggered forward, unharmed. But the battle was far from over. With a fierce gleam in his eyes, Liya unleashed a barrage of whip projections, forming deadly black circles that compressed the air itself. The entire platform turned into a treacherous battleground, forcing all nearby spectators to retreat in alarm. A ferocious storm raged over the platform, its power causing even Han Li to be taken aback. Gu Qianshun whispered in awe, "Liya's heaven-locking seal has grown stronger since I last witnessed it." Feng Wuchen, his expression grim, felt the stirrings of over 150 profound acupoints lighting up across his body. A resounding crack echoed as he stomped the ground, causing the platform to tremble as he shot into the air, narrowly avoiding the flurry of black whip projections from Liya's relentless assault. Liya's black whips, transformed into a chaotic web of circles, sped toward Feng Wuchen like living creatures, yet his superior speed allowed him to narrowly dodge them, maintaining the upper hand. This attack is formidable, Gu Chanshun remarked, observing the danger, but Feng Wuchen's swiftness makes it hard for Liya to keep up. Just as she spoke, Feng Wuchen's willow leaf sword began to hum with energy, and a radiant white light exploded from it, striking a gap between two whip circles and allowing Feng Wuchen to dart through unscathed. Han Li watched with a glint of curiosity, intrigued by the sword's potency. However, Liya, his figure now obscured by the fading whip projections, revealed a peculiar smile. He thrust his palm forward, unleashing a network of radiant white threads from his sleeve, swiftly forming a massive white net that enveloped Feng Wuchen. Trapped, Feng Wuchen was cocooned in layers of the net, tumbling down to the platform as the crowd gasped in astonishment. Liya's eyes gleamed with triumph, but that joy quickly turned to horror. His body reddened as blood surged beneath his skin, a grim sign of the hazy helmet technique's toll. In a flash, he paled and collapsed, blood pouring from his mouth. The hazy helmet technique, Xuan Yuanxing murmured, recognizing the dangerous technique that granted temporary but immense defense at the cost of great physical strain. Gu Chenshun added, Liya wields the all-encompassing net, a weapon forged from the silk of an A-tier scaled spider beast. Though not a star artifact, it rivals one in power. The crowd erupted in cheers as Liya, despite his injuries, remained defiant. But Chen Yang's silent motion caught Han Li's attention. How had he moved so swiftly without detection? Liya was lowered carefully by Chen Yang, his condition slowly improving after a crimson pill was forced into his mouth. Meanwhile, Feng Wuchen's white willow leaf sword continued its dance in the air, drawing all eyes as it resonated with a strange energy. As Feng Wuchen returned the sword to his grasp, the two blades echoed in harmony, signaling the imminent clash with Han Li. Next is you, Li Feiyu, Feng Wuchen declared, pointing a sword toward him, a challenge that drew the crowd's attention. Han Li, calm as ever, simply replied, See you in the next round, his indifferent gaze cutting through the tension. The crowd, stunned by the provocation, could only wonder if Han Li, the unassuming newcomer, was a dark horse in this fierce competition. The official verdict was declared. Feng Wuchen had triumphed, his victory celebrated by roaring cheers. As the crowd erupted into applause, Chen Yang quietly carried Liya away, directing him to a secluded place as he urged, Come with me, Li Feiyu. The rest, stay and support Gu Chanshun and Xuan Yuanxing. Han Li's expression flickered, sensing the turn of events, and excused himself to follow, the stage set for the next battle. With Liya safely carried from the Asura arena, Chen Yang, accompanied by Han Li, returned to the courtyard designated for Green Goat City's cultivators. Setting Liya in a separate room to rest, Chen Yang joined Han Li outside in the side hall. Will fellow Taoist Yi be all right? Han Li inquired. His injuries are severe, Chen Yang answered solemnly. Though not life-threatening, his bloodline is greatly depleted after using the hazy helmet technique. He will not awaken soon. Han Li nodded, his face reflecting understanding. I suppose you called me here to discuss the next round? Han Li asked. Indeed, Chen Yang replied, his voice heavy. Do you have any strategies against Feng Wuchen? Han Li shook his head. None, but I will give my all, fellow Taoist Chen. Chen Yang sighed. With your strength and true spirit bloodlines, you should be well matched against Feng Wuchen, but the issue lies in his star artifacts, which are a grave threat. Han Li's brow furrowed. What are star artifacts? Chen Yang's expression darkened. Star artifacts are rare and powerful weapons, crafted by Mistress Liu Hua herself using the power of this realm. Qin Yuan managed to acquire a pair of swords, and they are a deadly force. As Han Li's mind lingered on the twin swords, Chen Yang's face brightened. But he is not the only one with such power. He then presented a small white shield to Han Li, its surface adorned with starry runes. At its center, 18 glowing star designs formed a dragon, their light pulsing like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Han Li took the shield, feeling its resonance deep within. What is this? This is a star artifact, the Star Shield, Chen Yang explained. Refine it with your blood essence over the next few days. By the time the third round begins, you should be able to harness its power and defend against Feng Wuchen's swords. Han Li glanced at the shield, determination flashing in his eyes. Thank you, fellow Taoist Chen. I will not disappoint you. With a nod, Chen Yang briefly instructed Han Li on the shield's use before dismissing him. Returning to his room, Han Li pricked his finger, letting a drop of blood essence fall onto the shield. It absorbed instantly, a layer of white light emerging. As he focused his spiritual sense, the connection deepened, and Han Li could feel his acupoints attuned to the shield's power. Over the next 2 hours, the shield grew stronger, but a commotion outside suddenly interrupted his concentration. Stowing the shield, Han Li stepped into the courtyard to find the Green Goat City cultivators returning, their faces alight with excitement. At the center, Gu Qianshun stood, radiant as the moon, though Xuanyuan Xing was absent. Fellow Taoist Gu, it seems you emerged victorious, Han Li greeted with a smile. I was merely fortunate, Gu Qianshun replied, modestly, though her unscathed form spoke volumes of her victory. A group quickly dispersed, and Han Li asked, What of fellow Taoist Xuanyuan? He won, Gu Qianshun smiled, though there was a flicker of concern in her eyes. His opponent was stronger, but he strategized well, though he is injured and receiving treatment. Good, Han Li nodded. I hear my opponent is Feng Wuchen. Yes, Gu Qianshun confirmed. With his star artifacts, it will be no easy battle. I've already devised strategies with City Lord Chen, Han Li assured her. Good luck, fellow Taoist. Gu Qianshun smiled before leaving him to continue his preparation. Returning to his room, Han Li resumed his meditation with the star shield. The starlight grew brighter, and he felt his connection to the shield strengthen further, the once faint resonance now a palpable force. Days passed swiftly, and soon the Asura arena was teeming with spectators. The third round of the five-city martial gathering had arrived, with only 18 competitors remaining, and victory today would grant each winner a B-tier scaled beast core. The city lords and Mistress Lu Hua made their appearances, greeted by cheers from the crowd, while the horned host struggled to control the excitement. This round decides who moves to the quarterfinals, the host declared. We will see Zhu Ziyuan of Profound City fight Jin Gong of Profound End City, and Feng Wuchen of Profound End City face Li Feiyu of Green Goat City. On the elevated platform, Chen Yang watched with concern. Green Goat City's pride had suffered earlier, with only 4 of their 12 representatives making it to this round. Despite his efforts to arm Han Li with a star artifact, he doubted the newcomer's readiness. Feng Wuchen's mastery of the star swords made him a formidable foe, and Han Li's inexperience with such weapons could spell disaster. Gu Qianshun's battle also troubled him. Though stronger than her opponent, Fang Chan had once bested her, making her path difficult. Xuanyuan Xing's fight against Luo Chongwei seemed the least risky, but even then, Chen Yang was unsure of his victory. Shouldn't the strongest contenders only face off in the quarterfinals? Mistress Lu Hua asked, watching the matchups unfold. Qinyuan responded, The system is not bound by such rules. These two are in the same bracket, so their clash was inevitable. It will add excitement to the tournament, Fu Jian mused. Perhaps Gu Qianshun will avenge her previous loss to Fang Chan. Chen Yang's gaze remained stoic, understanding Fu Jian's veiled words. Though seemingly complimentary, Fu Jian's remarks merely underscored Gu Qianshun's prior defeat. I believe the battle between Li Feiyu and Feng Wuchen will be thrilling, Qinyuan added. The rivalry is palpable, and it will captivate the audience. And so, the stage was set. The final round to determine who would emerge victorious and step closer to the coveted prize began, and the specter of star artifacts loomed large.